Hello friends, welcome back to MuleS Academy. In today's session, we are going to talk about a very important topic which is recently announced by MuleSoft that we call it DataWeave libraries. Okay, so now we can build DataWeave libraries, we can publish DataWeave libraries in Exchange, and from Exchange we can use them to other Mule applications. So we always spoke about DataWeave scripts, right? I know we say like it's a heart of the Mule applications. It covers lot complex logic, and often we think right it could be replicated in other Mule applications. So now we have option, okay, to build our DataWeave library in VS Code. So now the DataWeave plugin is available. That is right now in beta version. So you need to have a latest VS Code IDE. We can install the DataWeave plugin over there. We can build and publish our DataWeave library with the help of Maven from the VS Code itself. Okay, so VS Code will be able to connect Exchange and publish our asset, to the Exchange. And next step, what we'll do, whatever asset is published over there in the Exchange, we'll reuse it in other applications. So how we'll do it? We'll add this dependency. You can see the dependency snippet in your Anypoint Exchange. We can copy paste from there, add it to our form.xml and start using it. Okay. So before jumping out to the demo, I'll encourage everyone to please go ahead and subscribe the channel, share with your friends, hit the like button, write your feedbacks in the comment section below, and hit the bell icon so that you'll get notification to the upcoming videos in future. Okay, so let's jump on to the demo part. So first I'll launch my VS Code, and when we run VS Code and Anypoint Studio, your system will be little slow. So right now I'm just running VS Code first, and then I'll be running my Anypoint Studio to consume that particular asset. Okay, so let's go step by step. Okay. So as you can see on my screen, I have launched my VS Studio. Now you can go to your browser. There is a marketplace for this DataWeave 2.0 beta. From here you can install. Okay, once you install, if your VS Code is not at the latest version, it will ask you to update it to the latest. So do that first, install it, then come back to the VS Code, and in VS Code, what we'll do, we'll create a DataWeave library here. And once the library is created, okay, I'll show you one which I have created already, and then we'll implement the new one. Okay. So here you'll get something like example projects, and you'll get a form.xml. In that form.xml, first of all, we need to get our organization ID. Okay, so this is the identification for our project. So first we need to get this organization ID from our Anypoint platform, and we know how to get it, right? So everyone knows how to get it. So you can go to your, let me show you quickly. So where you can find it. So you can go to here, you can go to your, okay, login. You can go to your Anypoint platform, and here you'll find the organization ID. Okay, you copy this and first make the change in your form.xml, and second change, you can go ahead and uncomment this part. Okay, and here there will be a placeholder for your organization ID. Replace that. Finally, in the repository, uncomment this one. Okay, add your organization ID. Once you do these three things, uncommenting the repository, uncommenting distribution management, and adding the group ID over here. Okay, so your form.xml is ready for the deployment now. Okay, but before that, let's go ahead and first check. So here you'll get a default code, hello world code. So I have just added my function over here. So I'm just simply sending the string, okay, and then I'll be formatting into the kind of phone number format. So here we'll get the script, which is our module. And this module, we can test it with the help of the test code. So from here, if you see, I'm importing a module and then I'm using that function, and then I'm passing a string. Okay, so you can test it directly from here itself. You can see that on my screen, it's running now. And we show you. So this is the format I get. Okay. Now, once you're done, you can go ahead and create a unit test also for your code. Now you can see you can create the documentation for your code. You can create the unit test for your code. So the unit test will be created in the file. So I have added simple code where I'm saying if I pass this string, I get a string. Okay, simple unit test. So automatically it will generate a skeleton for you. Just go ahead and replace whatever you want. Okay, so you'll get the documentation automatically, see, and we'll get the unit test cases created automatically. Okay. Now, once you're done, what you can do, we can go ahead and we can publish this to the exchange. Okay, once you publish it to the exchange, in our exchange, you'll see something like, if you go here, asset type, now see DataWeave library beta version is added here. Okay, now if you go here, you'll see this is the last module I have uploaded over here. I published it here. Okay, now if you want to use it, go ahead, open it, go to dependency snippet over here, copy this, and then in other Mule applications we can add this. Okay, so let's jump onto the demo part first. Okay, so let me go ahead and create a new project. Let's close everything. Step by step, I'll show how we can create it. So now you can use the shortcut Ctrl+Shift key. It will show you what all options are there. So we'll create a new library project. Okay. Now instead of org.mycompany, you use the organization ID. Okay, and get the organization ID from your here and get the organization ID first. Okay, copy this. Go back to your that would be enter. Instead of example, we say here, we'll say DW and we'll say common library. So those are, if you feel whatever functions you feel can be reused by other projects, you can go ahead and add. Instead of snapshot, you can say here 1.0.0. And finally, instead of example projects, same, we'll see dw.hyphen common library. Okay, so this will be a project. Now, where you want to create this project, you can go ahead and say create in my top folder. Instead of creating under user, I'm creating under my workspace. Okay, enter. So let me open it in separate window. Now you can see on my screen now, we got a project dw-common-library. You can see in the skeleton, you have main. In the DW section, you will get a default code. Okay. Now, instead of this, let's test this. Okay, whatever we are getting, let's test this. My module DWL in main, we have a code, which is our hello world function. Okay, and now that function we can use it from the test DW my mapping. Okay, so my module will be having a code, my mapping will be having a your testing code. Okay, so we'll go ahead and we'll test this code. So you can say run. Here it will run your code and will show you the output. Okay, you can see that hello world now on my screen. Okay, let me go back to my window. You can Now I don't want this, default put. What I'll do, I'll go back to my module, and instead of this function, I'll say my function which I have written for my use case. Okay, so I'll just say I don't want this function. I'll say I want this function. So I'll just let me close this window. Okay. Now you can see my screen. Now I remove this function. I don't want that function. Now, if you notice here, right, it's we have automation here. So generate database documentation here automatically documents, but created. And there is one more option called add unique text. So now see here, I was talking about this one. So it creates this skeleton for you, a template. Now here you can say that, okay, so I'll pass a string over here. So what would be the string? I'll just say 9, I'll pass it here. So 3, 3. Okay, so 3, 1 more line. Okay. And I say that, okay, if I pass a string, I will be getting output as a, so here automatically it will suggest you, so it will be a string. Okay, so I have written, within a blink of eye, I have written my test case also, I have written the documentation also, I have written the code also. Okay, save everything. Save this file also. And now my mapping save. So now see here, the function is not exist, so it will throw error. So what I say, boss, give me all the functions from here. It's a star. And here, what I'll say, okay, boss, there is a 2 phone. Okay. Now here I pass a string, which is my maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. Okay, let's test this and see what we're getting. So, okay, I didn't save it. So let's save this file. That's the reason we are getting error over here. If you run this now, it will show the proper output. Okay, you can see now, see, this is the font format. And I'm thinking now this script, DataWeave script will be, it will be useful in other projects elsewhere, right? So what I can do now, I can publish this to my Exchange. But before that, make sure your setting.xml, your Maven, your Java is properly installed. Okay, so in your setting.xml, you should have, I'll show you now. So we are going to form, we are going to fix our form.xml now. So our code is ready, and we are thinking this should be get published to the Exchange. So let's do that form.xml now. Okay, so here, see, this is fine. Don't even try to change anything over here. Okay. First thing we'll fix here. They have written the documentation also properly. So have a look at it here. Add this Exchange repository to publish. If you are looking to publish your DataWeave library to Exchange, go ahead and uncomment this. Okay, so I'm just uncommenting this. I'll uncomment the repository also. First, now organization ID. So I have already added over here, so I can use this property. So the property is project.group ID. Okay, so I'll just copy this project.group ID. It goes here instead of org ID here. You can see. If you guys are not aware of this, how to externalize these properties, how to use this, please go to my other sessions I have published on my channel. I'll encourage everyone to go and see how to use this project. Now save this one. Other than this, we don't need to change anything. Okay, only 2 things. One is distribution management, and second one is your repository. And make sure with this ID, Exchange, in your setting.xml, your platform credentials are configured. Okay, make sure that, and your Maven is properly configured, your Java is properly configured. Now save everything. We save it. Okay, so now we'll go ahead and we'll try to run or try to publish this. Now we have built it, we have tested it. Okay, now what we'll do, we'll run a Maven command. Okay, so here this VS Code supports the Maven also. Okay, so we here will say deploy. Okay, so now the terminal will be started over here. You see, I'll just push it a little bit. Now you can see if everything goes fine, your common library will get published to the exchange. Okay. Publishing. That's right. I'll take a pause over here. Once it is published, I will resume from there. So while before deploying, it will validate your code. It will actually run the test cases also. So one test case we have written, right? And that test case, once that is passed, then only it will publish your library, DataWeave library to your exchange. Okay, it's doing that. Let's see. So behind the scene, it's actually a custom asset, right? So it will use exchange -mule-maven plugin. Okay, to deploy, or we can say publish your asset to exchange. It's doing that. I will look at it. The publication status is running. Now we get preview status successful. Okay. Now let's see our exchange. This guy was having one asset already. Right. See now, TW common library is there. This was published earlier. Now this. Now we can go ahead here, and you can see that okay, this is the module published. Now little bit documentation you can see here. In our VS Code, we can customize our documentation. Okay, and we can make it more readable. Okay, that we can do here. Okay, so you can see now how easily we have built, we have tested and published our DataWeave library to our exchange. Now it's available in the exchange. Okay, what we can do now, we'll launch our Anypoint Studio, but before that, I want to stop it because otherwise my system is very slow. So I'll take a pause over here. I'll launch my Anypoint Studio and come back. Okay. My Anypoint Studio is up and running now. Let's create a new project. Seven point 7.12, I feel it's a little slower than the 7.11. Okay, so I'll just say consume DW library. I think it's a little slow. Finally, my project is loaded now. Let's have a look at the pom.xml. We'll go and grab that dependency from our copy, go to studio, and here. Here, project library is added. Under project library, you see our project is there. And to open this, we've got our code, right? This is the function. What we'll do, we'll go ahead and we simply drag a transform activity here. In the transform activity, It's very, very slow. My system is not responding, so I'll come up with the new video on how to consume the data library which we have published in this session. Okay, thanks for watching. Thanks for spending your time with me, and share with your friends. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button, hit the bell icon so that you'll get notification. Thank you.